My name is Michael Askew. I work for Monitor Computer Systems, providers of the Sentinel alarm and video automation system, and I'd like to talk to you today about CCTV monitoring. This is a typical operator station for remote CCTV. You can see that the operator needs multiple monitors with which to receive incoming alarms and examine site plans, camera feeds, background information, and much more. Unlike remote alarm panel monitoring, remote CCTV is a high-growth area in security services. So you might wonder, what is the reason for the popularity of remote CCTV? There are three main reasons. Firstly, the operator is able to see what's happening. He can see what is going on and detect actual crimes in progress, as in this case, a robbery has just taken place, and a violent one at that. Secondly, the income stream from CCTV monitoring is much higher than for alarm monitoring, anything from 10 to 50 times higher for each site. The third reason is that there are excellent tools available to support the service. Internet speeds are an order of magnitude higher, and CCTV equipment much better and cheaper than ever before. So what's the problem? Why is it that it has been historically so difficult to make a reasonable living from remote CCTV monitoring? Well, in two words, the answer is false alarms. And not just a few, hundreds and hundreds of them. By contrast, intruder alarms will usually only average one false alarm per year. But by contrast, even the best CCTV systems will frequently be generating false alarms by the hundred every month. So what happens at the monitoring center? Well, the first thing that happens is that operators are swamped by the incoming traffic, and as a result, they have poor response times to the alarms. Genuine alarms get missed, and a labor-intensive service becomes unprofitable. So, what's the solution? How do we fix this? The starting point, and this will always be essential, is a good quality system, well installed, lit, and maintained. What else? Well, secondly, good intrusion detection. And the detection system is just as important. One of the best methods is beam detectors. If a person walks across an invisible infrared beam, they will trigger video capture and a video alarm. But intruders will sometimes evade beams by climbing a fence elsewhere. So movement detection is needed. Ideally, this will use two different technologies to confirm each other. Another problem with movement detection is that extraneous activity such as traffic needs to be ignored. This can be done where camera masking is available to ignore the movement in those areas which are not part of the protected premises. So we might ask, is the problem solved? Unfortunately, the answer is no. And we might immediately ask the question, why not? Well, these are all good measures and they certainly help. The trouble is they can't avoid all the causes of false alarms. For example, when a camera is mounted on a pole, it's vulnerable to swaying in the wind and detecting apparent movement in the field of view. Alternatively, the camera may be pointing at a tree swaying in the wind, and that's a different kind of wind movement. Or it may be that a spider may spin a web across the camera lens and constantly move about and trigger false alarms. Then the weather can take a hand. Pouring rain may trigger the intrusion detection process, and it can be sleet, hail or snow, any one of the weather conditions producing water. And the problem is, when the sun comes out, it creates reflections from the standing water, and these in turn will trigger false alarms. Or a badger walks past, or some other animal manages to find its way across the field of view. So how do we deal with all this? Well, historically the answer has been using video analytics. And this has been the great and coming technology which has attempted to take the world by storm for the last 20 years. But it just hasn't done so. What we can say is that in recent years, great strides forward have been made. On-site analytics systems are always the best because they can be tuned to the exact conditions for the cameras and their field of view. But they're expensive to buy and they're time-consuming to set up, and you need quite a degree of expertise to do so. So what has happened more recently is that attempts have been made to detect human activity with the analytics. And by human activity we mean vehicles and pedestrians. But the problem here is then when you want to discriminate between different types of movement and work out which are caused by humans and which are not, this is going to need major computing power, which of course is expensive. And you need to ally that with artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all this is required to make sure that we don't miss alarms and we reduce false positives. So at that point, enter cloud-based analytics. And this is a development that we have been working on with our technology partners for the last 2 or 3 years. It starts out in the field with a CCTV system, and our Sentinel product can monitor and integrate with over 100 different manufacturers. And these systems will produce a CCTV alarm which goes into our Sentinel system in a monitoring center. And then the monitoring center uses the cloud-based services to provide analytics. What happens is that we can fire up the signal to either the Calipsa platform or UMBO, and maybe there'll be more in the future. And both of these systems will detect which is a false alarm and which indicates human activity. And you'll notice there was a slight pause between the arrow pointing into the cloud-based platform and when the arrow came back. And that gives you an idea of how long it takes to perform this confirmation or analytics activity. But when it arrives back in Sentinel, it will come with some kind of indication as to whether it's genuine or not. So there'll be a score which says this is either a false alarm or it's a genuine alarm, i.e. there's human activity. And where movement has been detected, that will be shaded in on the video clip. So the video clip's monitored and altered in the process of applying the analytics. So that's a system that's been working for a couple of years now for our integration. And we might ask ourselves, what are the benefits? Well, quite a few. First of all, we have discovered that there is a very high rate of false alarm reduction. And the suppliers that I've quoted provide affordable solutions. They're not so expensive that they offset the benefit that they give. And the result of that is that these are very widely used in the UK. Most of our UK customers that are doing significant video monitoring will be using false alarm reduction using cloud-based services. So that's the message I wanted to bring to you today. But now I'd like to invite any questions that you may have. In fact, it's been decided to defer the questions until later.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Yes, we will leave the question and answer for the end presentation. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Rashid Khan. He's a CEO at Calipsa Ltd. Calipsa's company was born in London in 2016, founded by a team from Cambridge, UCL, and Imperial Universities. Group of professionals saw the burden that false alarm placed on the security industry and believed they could make a real difference to crime prevention through a unique new approach, applying artificial intelligence technology to the challenge. Mr. Rashid, welcome. Stage is yours. Welcome to Security Summit.
Thank you very much, Adis, for the introduction and the opportunity. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon, evening, morning. My name is Rashid Khan, as Adis kindly introduced, and I'm here to talk to you about the problem of false alarms and how solutions like artificial intelligence can help to fix that problem. What are the benefits and really the future in terms of AI and video security? So, Adis, if you could kindly play the recorded video that I shared with you previously.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening to you all. My name is Rashid Khan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Calipsa. We are a UK-based company that specializes in the development of cloud-based video analytics. Now, a lot of you guys may know that the security industry has been using video monitoring for several years now and still continues to adopt at a rapid pace. And this is primarily triggered by the digitization of the security guards. So this started several years ago when camera technology improved, combined with fast internet transmission. And we can see security cameras being deployed across a number of verticals, such as construction, agriculture, manufacturing, retail, utilities, education, or healthcare. In fact, in the UK, there is probably a camera for every 6 individuals, and the number is even higher in the US and China. Now, this creates another problem. The number of security cameras in the world is expected to climb above 1 billion by the end of this year. This means on a daily basis, we are generating thousands and thousands of petabytes of video that is never seen or never analyzed by anyone. This is also the reason why most of the security footage is used forensically, meaning after an incident has happened, someone will go look at the video footage, investigate the cause, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll get an insurance payout. We think with AI in the next 10 years or so, it will be possible to completely automate the analysis of security footage. So we imagine a future where an AI system is analyzing all the cameras in real time. An AI system is able to communicate to the police in real time. An AI system is able to communicate to the fire brigade in real time and hopefully prevent incidents and save lives. Although we are still some way from that, but technology is improving at a rapid pace. Now, with the billion cameras that we have, they require regular maintenance, regular upgrades for them to keep performing adequately. This is expensive for end users, expensive for installers, and expensive for the monitoring companies involved. Now, what if there was a solution that could add intelligence to your existing cameras? What if there was a technology that could understand all of this video and only show actionable insights? So maybe instead of automating 100% of this video analysis, maybe the computer could do 90% and we could use human intelligence for the remaining 10%. And these were the kind of questions that led us to create Calipsa 5 years ago. We fundamentally believe that a solution that can analyze a video clip after it has come to the control room has a number of advantages. The most obvious one is that you can reuse your existing cameras and hardware investments. Like nowadays, you see a lot of cameras and a lot of on-premise analytics. While they're great, they still do not address the billion cameras that are already in the field that were installed over the last decade. The second advantage that we see is with a cloud-based system, you can configure your cameras from anywhere, meaning you do not need to send an engineer on site, which can again cost time and money. And the third advantage would be an AI system, especially when connected to the cloud, should keep improving with time. And common examples of this would be things like Amazon or Netflix that learn your preferences and behavior over time. So the next time you go on these systems, you get more relevant results. So with this in mind, we we set out to build Calipsa 5 years ago. And the main idea is you configure your camera or your NVR with on-camera analytics, or in the absence of that, you can use basic motion detection. You configure these devices to send events to Calipsa, and an event for us is a short video clip that contains an activity. That activity could be triggered by a human, a vehicle, or an insect. Our solution will automatically analyze that video clip, and we will filter out everything that does not contain human activity. So this would mean anything that, for example, is triggered by animals, by insects, by weather, lighting, rain, snow, etc. And these filtered events would be received and actioned by operators in a monitoring station. And typically all of this process takes 4 seconds for us end to end. Now the impact this has on a monitoring station is huge. Like instead of an operator maybe handling 100 or 1,000 false events per night, they only get 10 or 100. So we effectively reduce by 90%. This allows our customers to scale their businesses without increasing manpower, but also, more importantly, provide a better service to their customers. We've also seen a massive reduction in missed incidents, which again prevents crime and ultimately makes the world a safer place. And really, like behind the scenes, what we have is modern deep learning. Unlike rule-based systems that require extensive configuration from an engineer and that requires regular maintenance, regular tweaking, AI systems are learning from data. So an example such as ours, Calipsa, we have probably collected close to 50 million images that are used to train our system. And what these images are simply examples where you have people, you have moving cars in a variety of scenarios. So we have day, night, snow, rain, shadows across a variety of camera quality, locations, the kinds of properties, etc. And this allows us to really keep improving our system, but also our customers should see improvements as and when they deploy their cameras. So in the example that we have on the screen here, we've got 2 clips. Clip number 1 on the left, you can see a moving person that's picked up by Calipsa, and we have a nice green outline that assists the operator in spotting the incident. Clip number 2 on the right, you can see some kind of a shadow. This triggers the camera motion detection or camera analytics to send an alarm, but Calipsa is successfully able to filter both of these out. The other thing I may add is both of these cameras were installed more than 5 years ago, so they're not the latest and greatest HD megapixel cameras. You know, they're your basic cameras that were available back then, but with our solution, we are now suddenly able to add intelligence on these cameras. Our platform is also fully transparent, meaning every customer gets a web login. They can go on the platform, they can see exactly how many events we analyzed, how many events we filtered out, what was the root cause, and you can see this over the last 24 hours, 7 days, or even 30 days. And really the benefits for a control room are huge. Like number 1, your operators only receive true alarms. This means they're less fatigued and they're more likely to catch real incidents. We also see an improvement in the alarm response times, which has helped our customers to retain or achieve gold or silver level accreditations with the relevant bodies. We also see an improved staff morale and staff well-being in the control rooms. Being an operator is a difficult job, especially when you have to perform 12-hour shifts seated in the same place. Across, I would say, the majority of our customers, almost every single operator has seen and felt the impact of Calipsa. Then, again, very important for business owners is being able to scale your security operations without necessarily adding more manpower. Now, what that means is our customers have been able to offer new business services or even grow their camera count without going and finding and training new operators. There's also we've also removed the need to install new analytics or new hardware on site. Again, we mentioned the benefits previously, but if you don't have to send an engineer on site, if you don't have to spend upfront capital, this has a significant impact on the bottom line. And then finally, I think technology adopts and evolves at a rapid pace, and it's really imperative as businesses to stay ahead of the curve, to use the latest platforms, to be relevant, and to stay ahead of the competition. So we feel that the future for the security industry will involve AI in a variety of ways, and if customers can jump on board on this earlier, like they have a better understanding of what AI does, what it cannot do, what are the limitations. So yeah, like to summarize what sets Calipsa apart, 4 things mainly. Number 1, ease of installation and configuration. So you can use your existing cameras. You can configure your cameras from anywhere, from the comfort of your house, without sending an engineer on site. We do not require extensive configuration and management. So a job which would take 7 days in the past could be done in 2 hours now. Number 2 and 3 are linked. We have the best-in-class false alarm reduction percentages. We've got over 100,000 cameras deployed on the platform, and customers are seeing in excess of 90% false alarm reduction. So what that means is some of our customers have been able to double their camera count without increasing manpower. While reducing false alarms is good, we must make sure that we never miss a single real incident. So Calipsa guarantees you a 99.95% detection rate for true alarms. This simply provides peace of mind that genuine incidents will not be filtered out. And then finally, we have a very flexible business model. So you only pay for what you use. If in month 1 you have 100 cameras and in month 2 you have 50 cameras, you will be invoiced accordingly. So we don't tie you into long-term agreements. You don't have any upfront capital expenditure, and yeah, it's pay as you go. With that, my presentation comes to an end. I hope you found this useful, and please feel free to reach out with any questions. Would love to learn more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you very much, Michael. I received 2 questions for you, and I would like to ask you to give us answer. First question is, what about the role of thermal analytics in an effort to reduce false alarms? So, gentlemen, question maybe is for both of you, but you will decide who will answer.
Maybe I can start with that one. Just to say that thermal cameras do represent a considerable advance in detecting genuine movement, simply because inanimate objects are not going to produce that level of information that's provided to the actual operator. So they are rather more expensive for obvious reasons, but they do have a considerable place. So I think it's worth certainly including those in the portfolio where they're appropriate.
Okay.
I'll
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, please.
Just add a couple of points. So yeah, I completely agree with Michael that thermal cameras do not send alarms, for example, because of shadows, rain, lighting, etc. But what they do still suffer from is alarms caused by animals, caused by insects. So we've seen a lot of customers are using thermal cameras on solar farms, and then you've got sheep, you've got other animals on a solar farm, and they will still trigger those alarms. And I think that's where an AI solution can come in, because it will differentiate between a person and a sheep, for instance. So unless someone is interested in monitoring sheep, I think you will still suffer from those false alarms.
Okay, thank you very much. Second question is, for both of you, of course. How do we ensure that the users remain aware of the need to ensure proper maintenance and power supply as two important factors in false alarm reduction that they need to take care of?
Yes, maybe I can address that first. What tends to happen when systems aren't properly maintained is that they begin to experience various problems. For example, multiple false activations, for example, video loss, or poor lighting, degradation of image quality, and so forth. So we have within our Sentinel system a mechanism for detecting camera faults and tracking them and reporting them. And when we report them, what we will do is automatically send an image for the latest stream from the camera to indicate what the problem is. So whether it's the installing company, maintaining company, or the end user customer, they know that there's been degradation in image quality. Similarly, when the standard of transmission has been restored and the camera is back in a good state, we'll create an event for that as well and transmit the latest picture to the relevant parties so they can tell when there has been a problem. In answer to the question, in summary, I would say what is needed is timely notification of all interested parties where there is a problem with video quality, reliability, excess traffic, and so forth.
Thank you, Michael. Mohammed, please.
I think Michael covered most of the important points here. So I completely agree with his comments that as long as you can get preemptive notification or timely alerts, that will help in preventing a major incident when a camera wasn't transmitting when it should be. Right. So you can use a lot of automated systems that will detect if a camera is transmitting video, if the camera is not looking at the right place, for example, if the camera is not recording, if the image quality has been degraded. All of these things can be done using a variety of automated systems such as Sentinel, and we also have some capabilities in our system.
Okay, thank you very much, Mohammed. At the moment, I don't have any more questions. Please, gentlemen, if you have anything to add, please feel free to share more information.
Just to say that we're very grateful to everybody who's tuned in today to participate in this forum. And I know that our contact details will be available via the organizers of the conference if anybody would like to find more information. So thank you, everybody.
Mohammed?
Yep. Thank you first and foremost to you guys for organizing the conference. It's a strange time when we have to do things remotely. So again, must have been a lot of effort to get everything done. And of course, thank you very much for everyone who tuned in. Yeah, please feel free to reach out if you would like to learn more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. On behalf of Security Summit, I'd like to thank you for your participation and invite all the participants to visit you, to find you on our platform, Security Summit, to get in touch with you, to request a meeting, text you a message. You will be available for them, I'm quite sure. So once again, thank you very much. Hope to see you soon. Good luck and stay safe.